Hi there, Cheryl from Junker's Craft Co-op, and I am here to do a little altered playing card for our hashtag 52 card challenge. And today we are doing shabby chic and wax seals. So I have picked 2 wax seals to use today. I also thought I'd do maybe a little kind of Valentine's theme. So it's Valentine's coming up, and I've got a couple cards here. I'm gonna try to work with 3 different cards, and I have them sanded already, not inked, not anything else. And I've got my I've got my wax going to the side here because I don't want to set anything on fire. And so I don't quite know what I'm going to do. I have an idea, but we're just going to have a play and see where we go. I'm totally trying to use only thing that's on my desk right now. I'm trying to use up things I have, so that is my goal, as well as to get organized this year. But so I decided I'm not going to use anything that isn't on my desk. And a lot of it's Christmas, but we'll get through that. There's laces and different things that is not Christmas. Like some old paper, and I think there's music papers, and I mean, not that I need a tag. That's even Halloween. So there's different little things I have on my desk that can be used, little pieces of digitals and stuff like that. So we're just gonna have a play and see where this goes. First one I was thinking kind of simple, maybe a frame. I do not like that white as much, so I think I might go in a little bit with some distress ink, a little bit on that. Of course, distress ink on the edges here. And I'm thinking about even maybe having this come off the edge. And then, of course, this would be behind here. Our little Cupid would be behind there. And maybe some laces and stuff off the side here. And then, of course, a wax seal. So we have to make some wax seals, don't we? Now, sometimes I make them directly on my project, and sometimes I just make them and have them ready to glue onto my project because maybe I want to actually have it on top of fabric or lace or something, and I don't want to do that directly onto the fabric. So, hopefully this is stiff enough. Got a little piece of plastic here. Let's actually put maybe something underneath that. Okay, so we're gonna see if this works. Do we want? I have XO in that. I do have some red set aside to melt as well. I'm trying to decide. I think I want the XO in red. We'll do this guy here. Come on. I think I need a new candle. I literally was doing this earlier, heating up my spoon because it just didn't seem to be getting warm enough. I need a new candle. But this works really well. Get a little smoke because obviously, but come on. Get out. Are we all out? Okay. And then I'm just going to, I've never used a stamp before. So let's see what it's going to do. I'm going to set that down on there, and I'm going to put the red into my spoon so it starts to melt. I'm actually going to give it a little help because, of course, we don't have 3 hours to wait for wax to melt. So I'll heat up my spoon a little, get it started, get it going, help it melt. Okay, I'll put that over there. Give it a little stir. All right, now it's starting to melt some, and my Fire is still going. Man, I really do need a new candle. Okay, so, woo, look at there. Oh, that came out nice. That came out really nice. Sorry for the glare of the glare, but it came out really nice. Now, I don't know where they're at the moment, but I have little pins where you can, you know, paint on them or draw on them. If you don't have those, just let it dry completely. Right now it's still a little pliable. Let it dry completely. Maybe as soon as you can get it off the wax, and I'm probably going to have to let this dry Oh, nope, I'm getting it. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to set it aside to dry. So now once it's completely dry, if you don't have little markers or whatever and you want it colored in, you could use a little bit of acrylic paint on your, you know, on your finger. Just kind of do a dry rub, and that of course would give you some color. Okay, so let's go ahead and ink up our, use this one. This is just vintage photo. We're going to go ahead and ink up our card where we want it. Now, I must not have sanded real well there because it did not stick. So, if it doesn't stick, that means it's too shiny right there. So we'll just take a little bit of that off. And now it's on. So that's, if you see that your ink is not sticking to your card, then you're going to want to take your, whatever you use to file, and just give it an extra little filing there so it comes out. Okay. I actually think I'm going to do a little bit more. I wish I had my other inks with me. I have a gold that would look really cool. But I'm not sure where it's at the moment. So this one's just a little bit of a different brown. And it has a little more of a red tone to it. So I'm just going to go around like that with it. Give it a little kind of two-tone effect. This one is more permanent. This is a permanent. This is archival ink. But if you want to, you could always go back in again with the distress ink again. And now I have more of a defined line. And everything falling. Okay. We lost our goodies here. They're falling all over the place. Okay. And now, like I said, I want to do something here. So I'm literally just going to use my finger and kind of rub in that where the white is. Just because I don't want it that's really stark white. And just a little bit of it, of the distress ink, rubbed with your finger, takes away that brightness. There we go. I think that's good. Maybe around in here. There we go. Now we've taken away all that bright white. Okay. So now we need to put our little guy in our frame. So I'm just going to go right around this outer edge of the oval here. And I'm just going to eyeball where I want this to be placed. I think right there is good. And wipe off any excess, of course. It doesn't really matter unless you're going to make it a tuck. If you're going to make it a tuck, I would suggest maybe a piece of packing tape or something over that. So when you're pulling things in and out, it doesn't catch on there or pull it. So let's see, we've got that so far. I've got these cute heart. I don't know where these came from. I think somebody sent these to me. It's just a little heart lace and it's so cute. So I've got that. But what do we need? We need maybe some of this. Let's see if this will work. I have something in mind. Doesn't mean it's going to work. But let's give it a try. I think it needs, for our little shabby bit, a little something to be shabby, right? There we go. Rough this up. There we go. Give it a good roughing up. And I think that should go here. You don't have to do this, but sometimes I didn't do it on the last one. In fact, it's sitting right here, the last one I did with you. And I did not leave the number. And that's the first time that I have not left the number. So I'm thinking of leaving it this time. And then when it's all said and done, I will back this and then, of course, cut out. So it could be a journal card. That's what I'll end up doing with it. So we've got that. I know for sure we're going to want this on here. In fact, I just want to check my wax real fast over here. Okay, we're melting good. Okay. We need something a little else. I'm not sure what yet, but I just feel like it needs a little bit more. I do have over here some threads from ripping fabric. Do we want to maybe give it a little something like that? That's not too bad. Let's see, what else do I have over here? Looking to see if I have any other little small, no, don't want that. Any small lace pieces? I could cut one of those out on one of these. Let's see. What else do I have? Believe it or not, I don't think I have much more lace out on my desk. Let's see. Oh, what's this one? Oh, well, I could use a little bit of the white. Actually, you know what? I think I kind of like this, the way it is. Okay, we're just going to go for this. Nope, that's too much. Too big, too much. We'll use on another one. So I think we'll just go for this. A nice, simple, easy. Nice, simple, and easy. That's what we'll start with. Oh, we want that to kind of hang off, so we got that there. And then, of course, we want some of this, and I'm going to place it and then fill in the glue where needed. So I'm going to put some right down on this edge. There we go. We've got that. Then we'll give a little bit of glue in a circle right there and put our threads down. I think that's one thing I like about doing these little cards you really can use anything that's on your desk. Little scraps of stuff, which is really nice. Get rid of some of the scraps. And there we have our wax seal. Right on there. Now this is going to take a minute to adhere, so we're going to set it aside for a second. I'm going to get my stuff back out here. And I'm going to give a little extra heat because even though it's been sitting on the heat, like I mentioned, my candle is just about gone. So I want to make sure it's not clumpy. Make sure it's movable, pliable. All right. There we go. Hors d'oeuvre toothpick works great. Okay. Oh yeah, this one's even coming out better than the gold one was, and the gold one was on the fire longer. Okay. Let's go ahead and get that down there. Hold firm for a second. Not ready to come up yet. Sometimes they come up right away, and sometimes it takes a second. There we go. And then we got XO in there. You can try not to get some of the glare. You can see the XO, it's in there. Wax on my finger. Okay, so that needs to dry for a minute, so we'll set that aside. And I've got two more options here. And I think I'm going to do this one. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a collage on here. And maybe even something at the top here to be more, a little more collaged and taggish, I guess. I'm thinking I like kind of something like that. With this in the middle. And have my queen show. Maybe have my queen show. And then have this here. Yep, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Cut this guy. Okay, now we're going to ink up. Ink, ink, ink. I wish I had my pink ink out. But I do not. I don't even have... Sometimes I have like my pink acrylic paint, but I don't even have that up here right now. And I said I'm only going to use what's on my desk. So that's what we're doing. So we are going to use Vintage Photo on this one. So of course I'm going to go around my edges because I like that. You don't have to do anything I do. But I do like the ink around my edges. And then I'm going to ink around this one as well. This one's going to get a lot more ink than the last one. Because we're doing a little bit more of a layering look. Now I also think I want to soften my edges here. So I'm just going to come in and just give a little cut on each edge. You don't necessarily have to have a corner rounder to do that. Especially since we're just taking a little bit off. Not a lot. Just soften the corner. Where Shabby Chic is soft. It is not harsh. Does not have a lot of straight lines. Things are a little bit more worn, beat up. Okay, I think that's looking good. Even a little bit of this on the... This is embossed paper. I wish they still sold this. I think it's either Teresa Collins or Heidi Swipe or one of those had it a long time ago. And oh, I wish they would bring it back. It's like literally my favorite paper. And I have just a little tiny piece left. I might have some more somewhere stashed away. Go ahead and ink this up. I want to give this a little torn edge on this side. Okay, and that one was going to go at the top. Okay, so now we have our stuff inked up, and now we're just going to start gluing. Oh, let's check on our wax seal. There we go. There's our wax seal. It is kind of big. Let's see. I don't know. We'll be okay. If you think it's too big, you can always give it a little bit of a haircut around. There we go. Just a little bit of a haircut. I think we'll do really well with this guy. So just so you know, you can cut the wax seal down if it's too big. And I think that's a lot better. Put this aside. Oh, I was going to go blow up. My candle's already out. That's how much I needed one. Okay, so I'm going to start gluing this down. Let's see, placement. Get back here. Okay. So, when's the first time you heard the term shabby chic? Was it when it first came out? When Rachel Ashwell hit the scene? That's for me. That was it. I mean, I have always loved that style. It never had a name, of course, until her. And I can't be happier that she came out with a name for it, because it's the coolest style ever. And I love old shabby things. Most of you know I do own a vintage antique shop. So, and sometimes it's fun in there and sometimes it's not. So, sometimes I get some really cool things. And sometimes I don't. But, you know, that's just kind of how it goes. But, oh, when we get something shabby, oh, yeah. I love it. Love it. Okay. I'm going to put that right about there. Okay. I think that's about right. And then that guy's going to go on there. I'm overthinking. Stop overthinking. Okay. Do I want something kind of shabby on the side too? I think I do. I think it needs that. But it also needs, I think, a little bit more ink right there. It's too white for me. So again, I'm just going to take my finger, because I don't need it real dark. I just need the white to go away. Because pure white is not shabby. Creamy white, yes. But I don't have my linen out. All I have is my vintage photo and my archival ink. So we're using what's on the desk. Okay, let's go ahead and put this little guy down. We need some shabby goodness there. And then we're going to go ahead and put this guy down where it goes. And that's going to end up going right about there. I think that's good. And if you excuse me a second, I do need to take a sip. Sorry, my mouth was getting a little dry there. Okay, so now we're going to add our gorgeous pink ruffle. Somebody made this for me, and I just absolutely love it. I'm not a sewer, so when people send me stuff like this, oh, it just makes me so happy. Happy, happy, happy. Okay, so let's get this, I think, right on this corner. For our little frou-frou, little girly frou-frou. I think I'm going to tuck a piece of that a little bit behind. It's sticking out a little too much. Let's get that squished down right there. I'm going to hold that for a second. Hopefully it stays where I put it. There we go. I think it's looking kind of cute. And then of course we need our XO or OX, whichever way you want it. And I think I'm just going to put that right down in there because it's a little flatter area. So I'm going to add my glue. And I am using 3-in-1 glue, if anybody wants to know. It is my favorite, besides PVA glue from Amazon. If you're interested in that, I could send you the link. And also, just Aleene's Tacky Glue. I mean, you cannot go wrong with Aleene's Tacky Glue at all. It's a little wetter glue. It takes a little longer to dry, but you don't need a big fancy glue. Just make sure that, you know, it's archival, made for paper, acid-free, all those things. Okay, so I got my wax seal down there, but I do believe I need a little bit more glue under this ribbon there, just because it was pulling up. And the wax seal is heavy, so I didn't want it to pull forward if you stood it up, it would flop forward, and I wouldn't want that, so put a little more glue behind there. All right, now let's give it some sort of tag. What do I have that we can use? I've got a little bit of music paper. We do have music paper down here. I could do music paper. I have this, but I think this is too modern-ish looking, if that's even a word. We do have some blue there. I could do a little bit of blue as a tab. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, you know what? What if I cut a little piece of this? That might actually be kind of cute. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this. And we're going to cut that off and give it a little something. Now, this is actually too big, so I'm going to cut it way too big. So I'm going to take again my finger and just kind of rub a little on here, just so it's not so stark white, and the flowers kind of catch whatever the stitching in there, just catches that ink. And then we're just going to add that on there. I think that's going to be really cute. Now, if you have a staple, you can just staple it. I don't know where my stapler is at the moment. I'm also in the middle of reorganizing my whole scrapbook room, and so a lot of stuff right now is in boxes. So I was going to move. We put a hold on that, so that's another reason why my stuff was in boxes. But now it's in boxes, I'm going to take the opportunity to organize and set this room up the way I want it, because I've never done that. So there we go. So there we go. Now we have it more like a little tag. Isn't that cute? Look how cute that is. So there we go. 2 different ways, layered and easy with a frame. Well, they're actually both pretty easy, but just to give you an idea, there we go. 2 altered playing cards, shabby chic with wax seals. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.